Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Tuesday, the 11th day of July, 7/11, 11th day of July 2023. Hope you're safe and healthy today, that your family's safe and healthy, and that the needs of you and your family in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health being met today. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field, who work along with the first responders in trying to save lives, and those that pick up garbage to keep our places clean and disease-free, and those that do the humble work of making deliveries of things like mail for our convenience. Double blessings upon the men and women that are out here trying to help rescue, deliver, and recover the teenagers and children that are the victims of child molestation and pedophilia. People that are the victims of prostitution and child prostitution, pornography and child pornography, human trafficking, and sex slavery. Double curses on the perpetrators of these things. Double curses on the profiteers of these things. And double curses on the perverts that create the industry for these things. Finally, double blessings on the homeless. Nearly 600,000 men, women, and children homeless in the United States, mostly children, and millions around the world in similar or worse conditions. Blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. Yesterday, we talked about the hard numbers revolving around the top 7 players for the Knicks in terms of games and minutes played. We saw that the weak link really is R.J. Barrett in the starting lineup, and that really Emmanuel quickly should be with Grimes and Brunson in the starting lineup, and that the Knicks would be a better team, would win more games, and that R.J. would be more effective with the second unit coming off the bench. So today what I wanted to do was look at Donte Divincenzo and Josh Hart. There were a couple of things that I suspected about Josh Hart that are true. Overall, I'm not saying anything negative. Overall, though, these two gentlemen are going to help the Knicks a lot, even in the absence of Obi Toppin and all of the, the BS about, lacking of height and needing this and needing that. The Knicks are going to be in good shape with these two players coming off their bench. But I looked at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 categories for Hart and Donte Divincenzo, and they reveal quite a bit, actually. Hart and Divincenzo, I looked at differently than the players I looked at yesterday because the games are different. For example, I wanted to see in both cases what the team's record were when they got at least 2 steals, because these two guys are theft artists. They're both very good at getting steals and getting opportunistic steals on the defensive end. And so I wanted to see how that would affect their teams. Again, everything I'm doing from both yesterday and today is based on wins and losses. How many wins and losses occur when these players do these things or play to their strengths? Okay. So when Donte Divincenzo, let's start with him. When he gets equal or greater than 2 steals in the game, and this is from last season, they're 19-10. His team was 19-10 when he got at least 2 steals. He did it 29 times, and his team was 19-10. When Josh Hart got at least 2 steals, he did that 26 times, and that his team was 16-10. So they both are really good and affect the teams positively when they get at least 2 steals. Here's some interesting things too. So when Donte Divincenzo got at least 7 rebounds, 7 or greater, his teams were 10-9. So he's not the guy to depend on to get a lot of rebounds. When Josh Hart got at least 7 rebounds, and that's a big part of his game, he did this 49 times last year. His teams was 29-20. So when he hits the boards, and that's part of his strengths, his teams are 29-20. Here's the real interesting stat. So both of these gentlemen are generally bench pieces. So their minutes are generally not starter level minutes. And I found some interesting things here. So Donte Divincenzo, when he plays between 20 and 30 minutes, that means not less than 20 and not more than 30. When he played between 20 and 30 minutes in the game, he did that 27 times last year. His teams are 16-11. That's not so good. But look at Josh Hart. When Josh Hart plays between 20 and 30 minutes, he did this 33 times last year. Not less than 20 and not more than 30. His teams are 24-9. Now, watch what happens when they play more than 30 minutes. When Donte Divincenzo plays greater than 30 minutes, his teams are 16-9, which says he's a better person if somebody is out to start on the wing or the point than other players, right? Because his teams generally win when he plays more than 30 minutes. When Josh Hart plays more than 30 minutes, he did this 50 times last year. His teams are 24 and 26. See, I thought Tiz was overusing him. He got carried away. He got all happy with Josh Hart, and he got a little carried away, playing him more minutes than he should. Josh Hart starts to give you diminishing returns after 30 minutes. Okay, so and that's the sign of an ideal bench piece. Yesterday we talked about Isaiah Hartenstein and what happens when he starts. They only win 38% of the time because he's an ideal bench piece, not an ideal starter. The same with Josh Hart. He's built to come off the bench. And so here, when he played 50 games last year, he played more than 30 minutes, and his teams are 24 and 26 in that time span. Now, both guys, affect winning when they're hitting their three-point shot. So when Donte Divincenzo shot over 40% from three, he did this 36 times. His team was 24 and 12 in those games. When Josh Hart shoots over 40% from three, he did this 32 times. His teams were 19 and 13. So he's not quite as effective, and he doesn't do it quite as often. He did it 32 times. Divincenzo did it 36 times. He's not quite as effective as Divincenzo is, but both of them, of course, are positively affecting their teams when they shoot the ball well, which is not saying nothing because that makes sense. Donte Divincenzo appeared in 72 games last year, and he was +4. His teams were +4 when he's on the court. Josh Hart appeared in 76 games last year, and his team is +10 when he comes in the game. So generally speaking, teams are both in good shape when these guys are on the floor. But here's another kicker, another proof that Josh Hart is not a starter level player. Donte Divincenzo started 36 games last year, and his teams are 21 and 15. So he's a very capable bench piece as well as a starter. Josh Hart started 52 games last year, and his teams were 26 and 26, which is 500. I mean, if you're satisfied with 500, that's good, but the Knicks at this stage, we're not. So he is really, so when he plays more than 30 minutes or when he starts, it's iffy. Okay? When he's coming off the bench, he's at his strength. And you don't want to play him more than 30 minutes. And I'm hoping Thibodeau looks at this because, like I said, he got carried away last year. He got carried away for one reason I know is that he was pissed off at Obi Toppin because Obi jumped in his grill and he probably was trying, Tibbs don't like that. He don't like that. I don't know how he handles it privately, but he definitely doesn't handle it well publicly. And I've read this about other players from Chicago saying the same thing. When you go off on him about something, it generally doesn't end well for you, unless you are already a favorite like a Derrick Rose or a Julius Randle. So Obi obviously wasn't in that case, and I think part of the reason he overused Hart was to not play Obi a lot of games, a lot of minutes. But I'm hoping he doesn't do that this year because, you get diminishing returns from Josh Hart playing him too many minutes. Donte Divincenzo, though, a very well-rounded pro-level ball player, high-level shooter, can help. Like if let's say Brunson was out and let's say they were starting IQ and Brunson was out. You might go to Deuce, but probably Donte would be the guy. I mean, I would favor Deuce because I'm Deuce high, but probably Donte would be the guy that they go to in that scenario. So, the Knicks did well getting these two ball players. Overall, these guys are going to help the Knicks a lot. The height difference is not on the wing is not going to be as bad as people think it is. Yes, if they were to get a nice, like an OG Anunoby 6'7" dude on the wing that can play defense at a high level, that would always help, right? But if they went to war with what they have right now, they'll be in good shape. I'm still saying over 50 wins for this team. If they went to war with what they got right now, they're going to win more than 50 games. And they're going to be top 6 in the East again. And they may even push into top 4. Because, again, it takes the Knicks or Thibodeau team takes about 30 games to get in the flow all the time. And so you'll start to see that as the season goes on, and they'll get better as the season goes on. But they're going to be in good shape with these two players. And Obi, obviously, I'm not dissing Obi. Obi's going to be in great shape in Indiana. So anyway, I wanted to share that with y'all today because I did share the top 7. Yesterday, I wanted to go into the bench and see how that goes, especially with the 2 new guys who are going to play prominent roles on the bench. So you're talking about Hart and Divincenzo. This works better, I think, if R.J. Barrett was in the bench unit and you started Grimes at the 3 and Emmanuel quickly at the 2, and then you had Brunson. This would work better because then you'd have R.J., Divincenzo, Hart, and Hartenstein. That would be a much better bench. In my view, that would be a tremendous bench. It fits better. RJ's a wing that could also play a small ball 4. You have Hartenstein, and then you'd have 2 high-level bench pieces as well. So you'd be pretty good shape there. And you could also keep Julius out there if you wanted to keep him out there, with the second unit in that case. Or you can also put Grimes out there. To me, it opens up a lot more mismatches for the defense to worry about in that situation. But I don't think they're going to do that. But that's what they should do based on the numbers. Anyway, y'all enjoy your Tuesday. Be safe out there. Shalom.